Hey Raider Nation, what's good? It's your boy, Silver and Black Insider, coming at you with the hottest Las Vegas Raiders news. Today, we're diving deep into the future of our cornerback room, a group that's young, hungry, and ready to ball out in 2025. Picture this: Jakorian Bennett battling through a torn labrum, still locking down receivers like a beast, while rookies Jakorian Richardson and Darian Porter are turning heads with their raw potential. Are we looking at the next great Raiders secondary? Stick with me for 10 electrifying scenes as we break it all down. Let's raid this news. What do you think about our young DBs? Drop it in the comments. Our cornerback room is like a treasure chest, full of gems, but they're still being polished. The Las Vegas Raiders have a trio of young studs in Jakorian Bennett, Jakorian Richardson, and Darian Porter, but they're green. Experience? Not quite there yet, but potential? Through the roof. These guys are the future of our defense, and 2025 could be the year they start shining. Bennett was supposed to be the guy last season, but injuries held him back. Richardson got thrown into the fire as a rookie and learned some tough lessons. And Porter? He's a freak athlete who just switched to cornerback in college. The Raiders are betting big on these three, but can they deliver? Here's the thing: youth can be a double-edged sword. No one in this group has played a full, dominant NFL season yet. But when you hear what Bennett went through last year, you'll understand why Raider Nation is buzzing. What's got me hyped is the upside. If these guys stay healthy and keep growing, we could have a lockdown secondary in a couple of years. But 2025? That's the big question. Let's start with our fearless leader, Jakorian Bennett. Jakorian Bennett is a warrior, plain and simple. This dude was out there last season playing with a torn labrum, his shoulder popping out 5 times during games. Can you imagine tackling NFL receivers with that kind of pain? He told reporters at minicamp, "I haven't had 2 healthy shoulders since college, man. I knew my shoulder was going to pop, but I kept going." That's the heart of a Raider. Bennett still led the league in passes defended for a stretch last year, despite only playing 10 games and starting 7. He was our best corner by a mile, locking down top receivers with a busted shoulder. Now, he's finally healthy, and the vibes at minicamp are electric. Bennett's talking about taking the next step, and you can feel his hunger. If he can stay on the field, we're talking about a potential CB1, a true shutdown corner. But here's the kicker: he's only in his 3rd year. Can he handle the pressure of being our top dog against elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes? Let's talk about what he's up against. Bennett's not just fighting for a starting spot. He's got to face some of the NFL's best quarterbacks in the AFC West. Think about it: Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Justin Herbert with the Los Angeles Chargers, and even Bo Nix stepping up for the Denver Broncos. These guys can carve up a secondary if you're not ready. Last season, Bennett showed he could hang with the big dogs, even with one arm basically taped together. He had 48 tackles, a forced fumble, and 8 passes defended in just 10 games. Those are legit CB1 numbers, folks. But the AFC West is a gauntlet. Mahomes alone threw for over 4,000 yards last year, and Herbert's got weapons like Keenan Allen. If Bennett wants to be elite, he's got to dominate these matchups. The Raiders' defense depends on it. So, what happens if Bennett goes down again? That's where our next young gun, Jakorian Richardson, comes in. Who's ready to talk about this rookie-turned-sophomore? Jakorian Richardson got a trial by fire in 2024, and let's be real, it wasn't always pretty. As a 4th-round pick, he wasn't supposed to play much, but injuries to guys like Bennett forced him into action. He logged 35 tackles and 3 passes defended in 14 games, but he also got burned a few times. Rookie mistakes? Sure, but the kid's got grit. Richardson's 6 foot, 2 frame, and 4.34 speed make him a physical freak. He's got the tools to be a lockdown corner, but last year was a learning curve. He struggled with technique and reading routes, which is normal for a rookie thrown into the deep end. The good news? He's got a full off-season to grow. At OTAs, coaches raved about his work ethic and improved footwork. If he can clean up the mental side of the game, he could be a steal for the Raiders. But here's the big question: can Richardson step up as a reliable CB2, or is he still a year away? Let's shift gears and talk about the wild card in this group, Darian Porter. Darian Porter is the definition of raw potential. This third-round pick out of Iowa State is 6'3", runs a 4.340-yard dash, and has a 9.99 RAS score. That's elite athleticism, folks. But here's the catch. He only started playing cornerback in his final college year. Before that, he was a wide receiver. Porter's lack of experience showed at OTAs, but his physical gifts are undeniable. Coaches love his length and speed, and he's already making plays on special teams. Iowa State's defensive coordinator told ESPN his receiver background helps him read routes and find the ball. The Raiders see Porter as a project with massive upside. If he can learn the nuances of the position, he could be a star. But as a rookie, expecting him to start might be a stretch. Or is it? Reports from minicamp say he's turning heads. So what's Porter's ceiling? Could he shock the world and steal a starting spot? Let's talk about how this group stacks up against the rest of the NFL. The Raiders' cornerback room is one of the youngest in the league, and that's both a blessing and a curse. Bennett, at 25, is the veteran of the group. Richardson and Porter are 23 and 22, respectively. Compare that to teams like the Chiefs, who have Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, both under 26, but with more starting experience. Youth means growth potential, but it also means growing pains. Last season, the Raiders' secondary ranked 22nd in pass defense, allowing 227 yards per game. Injuries didn't help, but inexperience was a factor. This group needs to gel fast. The silver lining? Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham is a wizard at developing young talent. Under his scheme, Bennett thrived last year, and Richardson showed flashes. If Graham can unlock Porter's potential, we're cooking. But how do we stack up against the AFC West? Can our young DBs hold their own? Let's dive into the injury factor that could make or break this group. Injuries have been the Raiders' kryptonite at cornerback, and Bennett's story is proof. Playing through a torn labrum is no joke. It's a miracle he performed as well as he did. He missed 7 games last season, and his rookie year was derailed by a hamstring issue. Staying healthy is priority number 1. Richardson, thankfully, avoided major injuries as a rookie, but he played through a nagging ankle sprain. Porter's a clean slate, but his aggressive style could put him at risk. The Raiders' training staff has their work cut out for them. The scary part? We're thin at corner. If Bennett goes down, we're relying on Richardson, Porter, or free agent addition Eric Stokes, who's been injury-prone himself. Depth is a concern, and GM John Spytek might need to make a move. Speaking of moves, should the Raiders chase a veteran like Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander? As some reports suggest, let's explore that blockbuster idea. Rumors are swirling that the Raiders could target a star cornerback like Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander to bolster the secondary. Sportsnaut's Mo Moton predicted a trade for Ramsey, noting his versatility and leadership could elevate our young group. A Pro Football Focus report from June 10, 2025, also mentioned Alexander as a potential low-risk, high-reward signing after his release from Green Bay. Imagine Ramsey mentoring Porter or Alexander locking down the opposite side of Bennett. It'd be a game-changer. Ramsey's 2024 stats, 68 tackles for interceptions and 12 passes defended, show he's still elite at 31. Alexander at 28 could rebound from an injury-plagued year. But here's the reality. Trades for stars are pricey, and the Raiders are building for the future. Spytek might trust Bennett, Richardson, and Porter to grow rather than splash cash. Plus, our cap space is tight after signing guys like Geno Smith and Eric Stokes. So, should we go all in for a veteran or bet on our young core? Drop your take in the comments. I'm curious what Raider Nation thinks. Head coach Pete Carroll is the X factor for this cornerback group. The guy's a defensive genius, known for developing secondaries like the Legion of Boom in Seattle. At minicamp, he's been hands-on with Bennett, Richardson, and Porter, preaching technique and confidence. Carroll's scheme loves tall, physical corners, and our trio fits the bill. Bennett's aggression, Richardson's length, and Porter's speed are tailor-made for his system. A June 7, 2025, Athlon Sports report said Porter's already taking first-team reps at OTAs, which is huge for a rookie. But Carroll's not just coaching, he's building a culture. He's got these young guys believing they can be special. If he can keep them healthy and focused, this secondary could surprise a lot of people in 2025. What's the ceiling for this group under Carroll? Could we see a breakout like Richard Sherman back in the day? Let's wrap this up with our big prediction. Raider Nation, the Las Vegas Raiders cornerbacks are on the cusp of something special. Jakorian Bennett's ready to explode as a true CB1. Richardson's poised for a sophomore leap, and Darian Porter's raw talent could make him a dark horse. This group's young, but the potential is undeniable. In 2025, I'm predicting Bennett finishes top 10 in passes defended, Richardson starts at least 12 games, and Porter becomes a special team star while pushing for CB2 reps. If they stay healthy and Carroll works his magic, we're looking at a top 15 secondary by season's end. But it all comes down to execution. Can these young guns handle the AFC West elite quarterbacks? Will injuries derail them again? The journey starts now, and I'm hyped to see it unfold. That's it for today's Las Vegas Raiders news. Smash that like button, drop your predictions in the comments, and subscribe for more silver and black updates. Share this with your Raider fam, and let's keep the nation strong. Just win, baby!